What's up, everyone? Jeremy from The Quartering, and today we had perhaps the biggest, well, really in the last 24 hours, the biggest trove of information on one of the biggest creeps in the modern era, including a press conference that just happened with those on the receiving end of his bad behavior, where they boldly claimed they will be releasing the names. Now, guys and gals, I've been covering this for a long time. And you know that I want justice. I want the names. I don't care if every name on that list is a Republican. Don't care. I don't care if Donald Trump is on that list. I want the names. The trouble is, I have some concerns. Now, I know it would have been a lot easier to put a red siren emoji in the title of this video and say, the walls are closing in, now we got them, and get 1 million views like some people. But that's not how I run things. I have a lot of questions. And why are we doing a press conference? Why are we trotting out the victims for a press conference in which they boldly claim that they know the names? Why not just say them? If you know the names of the people that did these horrible things to you, why don't you just say them at the press conference? I have this weird feeling that this is another op, that we're still in the nothing ever happens camp. Now, the House Oversight Committee released something like 30,000 files last night of nothing. There's some contradictory evidence in the jailhouse surveillance footage. But I want to start with this press conference before we get into those, because, again, you might be saying, well, duh, Jeremy, they're worried about retribution. Are they, though? Because they literally said, we're going to release the names. So if you're going to release them later, what better place than to release them right here and right now in a press conference where it acts as some sort of protection, right? You do it live on the news. And, now if somebody comes after you, well, they're going to be implicated. This is what they said. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. We will compile the names. We all know we're regularly in this world. Guys, I don't know. Why wouldn't you just say the names? Why wouldn't this woman, she drops a big smile. See, this guy, David Santa Carla, agrees. She could have just said the names. Victims are releasing their own lists. Yet another example of how private citizens handling business. Maybe it looks like I'm not the only one with this question. Someone genuinely asked if they know the names, why don't they just announce it? What legally stops them from releasing the names? I mean, if this is a woman and she says, so-and-so did terrible things to me, then what crime would that be? She says it happened, so why don't you just release the name?
Transparency is justice. Release the files. End the secrecy and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law.
I mean, it just seems like they're actors to me. Like, if you know the name, drop the name. So you're going to what? Give people a month to Virginia Giuffre you now? You're going to wait and release a book? I don't know. Publicly naming them at a press conference is probably the best level of protection you could have given.
And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names.
Why don't you just say them right now, lady? You guys, if you go to my main channel, you go to videos and you search any topic related to this, I've made hundreds of videos about this. I want the names. I want the list. I'm starting to think that if there was a list, it's long gone, and that anybody surrounding this is full of baloney sausage. If it wasn't a grift before, it's a grift now. Watch these women. They're going to go on like a talk show, write a book or something. If you don't name the names, I'm not taking part of it. I'm not just like, it's all so tiresome, isn't it? Are they hoping for a big payout? I don't know. Why didn't you take the payout in the last 10 years? Why now are you saying, oh, we know the names? Say the names. I don't buy this. I think this is gross. Am I crazy? Am I taking crazy pills? I know it'd be better for me to take some other people's approach and say, this is it. It's coming now. We got them, boys. You're at a press conference with all the world watching you and you say, to be continued? For what? A bigger press conference? I don't know. I don't buy it. I'm not saying, I think Jeffrey did all sorts of horrible things. Let me be very clear. But I think anybody in and around it now who are attaching their name to it, it's a grift. Now, could this woman have been victimized and it still be a grift? Yep. But I just don't. If they've been threatened, why are you doing the press conference then? Why there's no reasonable reason that these people are coming out other than maybe, wire large sums of money to my team and maybe I'll go away with a while. People say, well, without evidence, they would be sued. Well, how many women came out and named their attackers over the past 20 years and never got sued? All they have to say is, this is what happened to me, right? What if they're not lying, they're not going to get sued. I don't know, guys.
We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names.
Oh, confidentially.
Regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors.
This is going to be a book. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a book. This is going to be a book. That's what this is. They're going to be, I'm telling you, they're going to write a book.
No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that.
Yep.
Because history is watching, and so are the women who will come after us.
Stay tuned for more information about this. They're going to write a book. That's what they're doing. Bookmark this video. These women are writing a book. That's what this is going to be. There is in no scenario, there is no way that they may know names, but they don't care about justice. This reeks of an op to attack the Trump administration. It reeks as a grift. I don't know. That's what I think. And it would be incredibly easy to prove me wrong. Just name one person. Name one person. One. Now, of course, they say no leniency, no deals. The victims speak as pressure grows to release the files. Now, documents come after the House committee released 33,295 pages of nothing burger. Just like the RFK files and the MLK files, there was nothing in those files. Now, you can either believe that nothing ever happened, and I could not disprove you. You could believe that the government covered it up, and I could not disprove you. But the reality of it is that we have no evidence, and we're not going to get evidence. That's the reality. I'm all for these women to be able to monetize what happened to them. But if you don't do a press conference and say the names, you say nothing and then you release the book. Fine. Do nothing and then release the book. Why are you going on the news? We were trafficked. We know the names. Name flipping one person. One. I'm asking you again to name a single person. One. You've named zero in 20 years. Zero. They break their silence. Did they? They said nothing. They did a press conference. I'm starting to side with Trump. Trump calls it a hoax. I mean, I don't think what Jeffrey did was a hoax, but I definitely think all this, stoking the coals, I am ready to believe. This is how annoyed I am. I'm ready to believe that it was only Jeffrey. I haven't got a single name of anybody, period. Not one. Why are they bringing it up now? To hamstring the Trump campaign. Why didn't they care during Joe Biden's presidency? Right? I'm just saying. Listen to this.
Mr. President, right now, there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massie, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow walking the release.
I think that they're slow walking this for this exact reason, so that they only care about this now so they can continue to ask Trump about it. I don't think there's anything in the files. I don't think they know anything. This is a giant nonsense campaign to make Trump look bad. I think Jeffrey did do bad things. I do think that it was an intelligence op. That's what I think. But I will never be able to prove it. And I think because life is short and we live a finite number of heartbeats on this planet, what is the point? If we're going to trot up the victims, okay, and they're going to say, we know who it is, well, who is it? Do I have to wait for your book?
Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C., it's a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone. That's a term. It's a term of art.
That's what I would agree. I agree with Trump. I really do. At this point, everybody knows there are no names, and that doesn't mean there weren't people involved. But you have this article here. I was just one of many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. Okay, did he abuse you?
2002, I was living in California, a young woman with high aspirations of becoming an actress. I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry.
I doubt it.
A person I trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful woman who could help advance my career. That woman happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell. I was asked to give her a massage, though I had almost no experience. And when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone enormously powerful, someone who could change the course of my life. And that man was Jeffrey Epstein.
All probably true.
At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world.
None of this is up for debate. We know this happened. We know that she got young girls for Jeffrey, okay? Get to the point where there's literally anybody else involved.
Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help. But his promises came with a catch.
What's that?
The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful. I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me?
But what did they do? Did they abuse you? That's what we want to know. She went on a trip. Okay. But did you, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.